All right, take a look at that. In our good vibe shot of the day, a baby Asian elephant playing with a ball. The 2-day-old baby boy making his big debut at a UK zoo on Wednesday and was given a ball to play with in the spirit of the FIFA World Cup. And look at him go. He needs a little work on his body feint, but he'll get there. So keeping the good vibes going now, we want to highlight a group that's working quietly and intently to support America's wounded police officers. The Wounded Blue, a national nonprofit dedicated solely to lifting up law enforcement officers who were injured or disabled in the line of duty. Not just the officers, but their families too. From peer-to-peer counseling to helping navigate medical and financial issues, the group's stepping in when many officers say they feel forgotten or alone. So joining us now is retired Las Vegas Police Lieutenant Randy Sutton. He's also the founder and chairman of the Wounded Blue. Randy, thank you so much for joining us. Great to have you. Now, you spent decades in law enforcement yourself. What inspired you to create Wounded Blue? What need did you see?
Well, I would never have thought that the need for the Wounded Blue would even exist. But what happened to me revealed to me a major issue. So I didn't intend to retire when I did. I wound up having a stroke in my police car, and it ended my police career, almost ended my life. But what happened next is what was so startling, that my own department turned its back on me and said, "We're not paying your medical bills and we're not giving you your benefits." And I went, wait, you can't do that. And that feeling of abandonment, that feeling of being alone, that feeling of betrayal took me to very dark places. And then, because I've done, besides being a police officer, I was very visible in the law enforcement community, being the most featured officer on the TV show Cops, and writing a number of books and being in some films and such. And police officers from around the nation started reaching out to me. "Randy, I know you don't know me, but I was shot in the line of duty, and my chief never even visited me in the hospital. They're not paying my medical bills. Randy, I was paralyzed when my police car was struck by a drunk driver and they've thrown me away." Terrible stories, terrible heartbreaking stories from cops from all over the nation, not because I could do anything, but only because I was visible in the law enforcement community. And I realized that this is a national issue, and there was no national resource to help these men and women. And so I created it. And the Wounded Blue is that national resource. And we've helped more than 17,000 police officers in the last 8 years.
I want to dig into that because, of course, you've worked with countless officers and families over the years. Is there one story that especially stays with you and reminds you of why you do this work?
Sure is. In fact, it's actually happening right now. A police officer in Texas who was severely injured in the line of duty, fighting with a suspect. He lost, during the fight, his spine hit the curb during the fight, and he lost the ability to feel anything from the waist down. And then he was fired by his police department and told he would never walk again. Well, 7 years later, he was fighting the system and fighting the system. And I bought him a wheelchair. That's how I met him. And then we found a surgeon and a donor that paid for a tremendous amount of incredible surgery. And he danced with his daughter at her wedding just 4 months ago. And now his life is normal. He's got his life back. And that's what the Wounded Blue is about. It's about restoring faith. It's about restoring health. And we recognize injuries as either being physical or emotional and psychological, because post-traumatic stress can be as real as a bullet. And we have saved lives, we've saved careers, we've saved marriages and families. You know, it's all about how do we help the men and women who have sacrificed so much for their badge. And you know, it is amazing work, and to me, it is, although it was painful for me to get here, it was where I was meant to be.
Well, I mean, I think it's incredible what you're doing, and of course the stories you've highlighted. In recent years, though, policing has become a difficult and often controversial profession. We see that here in New York as well. What encouragement would you offer officers who do feel discouraged or underappreciated?
You know, I'm really glad you asked that question, because I want to really, really hit this hard. The American peace officer is a hero. They are doing amazing work. They are touching lives every single day. And for anyone who is working behind that badge. Remember the pride that you felt when you pinned that badge on. When you lifted your hand and you swore to the Constitution of the United States to protect the people. And they are doing that every single day. And so for those who are even considering a law enforcement career, remember, it is the most noble profession that you can do. Join the police. Become one of those men and women behind that badge and fight for your country, fight for your community, and remember, you're never forgotten, never alone.
Well, Randy Sutton, thank you so much for all the work you've done and, of course, the work you do with Wounded Blue.
I appreciate that, and anybody that wants to know more about us or reach out for help, and that's thewoundedblue.org. Reach out to us. We are there for you.
Well, thank you so much.